welcome again to my YouTube channel where I'm focusing on continuous integration and continuous deployment on AWS. This means any software project that targets AWS needs to go through a deployment pipeline. And this deployment pipeline is what I'm really interested to make sure that you start with that when you start a new project. For that, today I'm going to share with you a project that I've started, an open source project that I've started on GitHub, and I'm really looking forward to hear your thoughts, your contributions, your details, your comments, your feedback around that. The project is focused on getting an example implementation for a CI/CD pipeline created. This example pipeline should then be implemented not only in one continuous integration or continuous deployment tool, but in multiple ones, starting with GitHub Actions, then using Code Catalyst workflows, maybe also using Circle CI, Jenkins, GitLab. The idea really is that this project has all of the building blocks that you need to be successful with your CI/CD project. From a generic pipeline overview perspective, the idea really is to build something that has most of the steps or all of the steps you can have included that you need for an enterprise-grade deployment pipeline for any kind of project that you have. Going to walk you through that in a minute. Before we actually look at that, first, we needed a simple project that we're going to use. The simple project that we have over here is nothing but a small web app. The small web app has a CloudFront backend, an SPA application that hosts a Flutter Web artifact. There is also a backend API. The backend API uses Lambda, uses AppSync, Lambda, and DynamoDB. It should be as minimal as possible because the focus is not the application. The focus is the pipeline that we use to bring this application to the environment where we actually deploy this. Generic pipeline from a CI/CD perspective, the one that I wanted to look at here is starting with code commit. It would automatically execute linting and formatting. Would then download dependencies. Will then start the unit tests for the different parts of the application. Measure the code coverage for that. Execute something like an infrastructure as code scan that ensures that you don't have any security findings or open ports in your infrastructure as code. It would scan for secrets. It would run a static application security test. It would run a software composition analysis, would then build the artifacts. These would now be the immutable artifacts that are not going to be changed anymore through the rest of the pipeline. We would then run integration tests, would deploy this out to a development environment, would execute post-deployment tests, smoke tests that verify that the application that you just deployed still works. Afterwards, we would then run the dynamic application testing against the development environment. And if this one is also successful, we would start executing the deployment to a pre-production. Once again, execute the post-deployment tests, and then promote this to a production environment. As I already mentioned, the artifact build up here would build the immutable artifact, which will then be used to do the deployments to the higher environments up there. We need to start somewhere, we need to set some prerequisites if we want to build this in all different CI/CD frameworks that we have. As an example, going to start with the specific parts that we need to define, and this is work in progress. So I'm really looking forward to hear your thoughts and feedback around this. Wanted to use CodeCov or something similar to measure code coverage. Wanted to use CDK-NAC and or checkmarks kicks to measure the infrastructure as code. Then for the SAS scanner, we can choose Mant, Trevi, or Snyk, which are open source supported tools. And this is all where I think that really I'm looking for contributors to the project that would want to help me build out this project and make this successful. If you go to the projects part of GitHub, you will also see that there is already a few issues created that I think that we need to work on this project. As you can see, something is in progress, but some stuff is also assigned, but we also have a few things left. If you're interested to work with me on this project, which is really focused to build a standard CI/CD pipeline with all building blocks that you need to be successful for your software project in different tools, feel free to start this repository. Feel free to reach out to me to assign an issue to yourself. And yeah, let's get started in building something that will really help us to be more successful going forward. Thank you so much for watching this introduction video. Let me know if you have questions in the comments or reach out to me directly. Bye-bye.